What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another live stream. Obviously, a little different than our normal live streams. We have a special guest, Trident, joining us here. Most of you guys that are in the gambling community, especially on Twitter, probably know of the gentleman. But welcome in to the stream, Trident. How you doing, baby?
I appreciate it. Happy to be here. Got a lot of baseball on today, and hoping to get a lot of value in. So
let's do it. Yeah, it looks like some people are already in chat saying what's up, Trident.
What's up, boys?
I seen somebody earlier. Randy Rose is RayPlay 101. Good to see you. So it's at Trident RayPlay 101. So I don't know. Must be maybe in Discord or something. I'm not sure.
Yeah, one of my Discord members. So
there you go.
Good to see you.
Hey, you even got what is the actual name of the logo? What is the actual name of that?
I feel like it's a trident, is it not?
Is it?
I think it is.
Is that the name? I was trying to look up the name of it when I was tweeting out like a little clue of who was going to be on stream today, and I looked up Pitchfork. I knew that Trident was the name in the logo, but yeah, it is. I know there is, but I was kind of like looking it up. I don't know. It's a trident, but when I looked it up, I also seen something different. So I don't know. Hey, maybe I'm an idiot. Seems like you guys think I'm an idiot from based on the chat, and maybe I am. That's fine. That's fine. You guys probably thought that before I said that, anyways. But yeah, well, we're gonna be finding some value using Daily Grind Fantasy as always, guys. Trident, obviously one of the power users of Daily Grind Fantasy, definitely puts it into his research and how he goes about his plays to find plus EV value using Daily Grind Fantasy every day, and I could let him speak on that too. But before we do get into it, make sure if you guys are watching on YouTube, you guys hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button every time you guys come in. Smash the like button. I would appreciate it. And if you're on Twitch and you're not following yet, hit the follow button. Would appreciate it. And then Trident _ DFS on Twitter.
Yes, sir.
Look at me. Trident _ DFS if you guys do want to follow him on Twitter as well. And he's got a YouTube channel. I'm not sure if that's... I know he does some streams and such on his own. Trident DFS?
Yeah, it's the same exact. So Trident _ DFS on YouTube.
Sweet. Let's go, baby. Yeah, hopefully we cash out today. Slight recap from yesterday's stream before we do get into it, actually. We hit the Bregman promo yesterday on ParlayPlay. We boosted 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. He had 6. He's been on an absolute tear lately. We used our slide the line to get Mako at 26.5 kills instead of 27.5. He was off from the market. So we did end up cashing that out. Unfortunately, Jackson Holiday did not go yard yesterday and did not hit the home run promo. But good news is we have another home run promo on ParlayPlay, and it's the man, the myth, the legend that we just talked about, Alex Bregman, 10x to hit a home run. He's hit a home run in 4 straight games. We'll get back to that play, though, and get something. Fliff also crushed yesterday. Not sure, Trident, if you were on some of those plays on Fliff from the Optimizer, but they crushed.
You know, I've been trying to keep an eye on some Fliff plays. I'm getting some in here and there, but primarily focusing on just PrizePicks and Underdog for the most part.
All right. Yeah, let's go ahead. We'll build it out. Appreciate all the love in chat. Thank you guys for watching, and let's get started. So, where do we want to start? And try to feel free if you see some value pop up on one of the optimizers and you want to head to that app or whatever, let me know. We can do that, but I think we could start on PrizePicks. There should be enough to build something out here. I know we can only get one of these PGA plays into our slip, but I'd be willing to start there.
Okay.
I'll start off. The rip. I'll take the Jose Barrios line there. Under 30.5 fantasy score. What is it? 30.5? 29, sorry. Under 29 fantasy score is going to be our first play. And how do we come up with that, right? Daily Grind Fantasy on the back end will do the math for what these sports books would have this projection set to if they had a fantasy score market by taking into consideration the even lines on those sports books, right? DraftKings would have this set to about 25.8, 25.9 Caesars, Bovada 25.8. If we hit the fantasy score page, we see that's off by about 3.2 on average. So little bit of value on the under of 29 for Jose Barrios. And Trident, up to you. I'll let you make this decision. So we got, I kind of defer sometimes to the sports books more so than the DFS apps. I see that Adam Scott set the 4 on PrizePicks, set the 3.5 on 2 different DFS apps, Underdog and Better. But then I also see just below, like Tommy Fleetwood set the 4.5 on both FanDuel and PrizePicks. Now it's only 1 data point, but FanDuel's juicing the under -150 on under 4.5 birdies. What would you prefer to take? Adam Scott, and we're getting push potential with Adam Scott with the 2 DFS apps data points, or trust the sports book of FanDuel?
So I actually, my approach to this, first off, I like to have more than 1 data point. Specifically, if it's a DFS app and then also a sports book, I typically would prefer that. So in this case, I would probably go with, the ones that we have value on FanDuel as well, instead of just seeing the value there on Underdog and Better. But that's always an option to come back to with another slip. So,
yeah, I mean, I'm. So, are you saying that would you rather take Brian Harman? Like, we're getting the worst number compared to FanDuel as far as the actual projection, but it's set to 3.5 on those other books.
Right. I think in this situation, I'd probably take Harman under 4 birdies or better, just because we do have the value there. We have 3 data points, and despite it not being technically as good as value as Adam Scott or Shane Lowry, that's probably the prop that I would go with here.
Yeah, and I talk about that often. It's all about, like, at the end of the day, DGF is just providing the info in one place to conveniently compare and kind of put your own thought process into it as well, right? You could go just from the top if you really wanted to and get good value in a sense, but as you formulate and you watch and you learn more about plus EV betting and these books and DFS apps, you can then take all that into consideration and find out what you're comfortable playing, what you like. If you only want to play stuff that has at least 2 data points, then that's going to be your preference moving on. But some people are okay with just comparing to FanDuel or just comparing to, let's say, Hot Streak for these esports lines. Some people are okay with that. But you can formulate your own, method of plus EV betting and who you like to compare to and such. All right, so we'll lock in Harman. Obviously, some push potential. FanDuel's got it really juiced, -190, under 4.5. We get it at 4. I'm in for that. Right off rip, I'm down to go with Brittany Griner. We're getting a full point of value. Set to 19.5 across all of these DFS apps and sports books besides PrizePicks. PrizePicks set to 18.5. So I'll head to some WNBA. Let's see. And if you got something else in the bank on top of that, feel free to shout it out.
One thing that I did want to ask you about is where your approach typically is with golf props. I know if we end up taking an under birdies or better and then an over strokes, we see that the payout shift. But what do you typically do when you see the opposite? So like an over birdies or better, but then an also over strokes, where it's almost negative correlation for golf. Right. And sometimes we actually see a boost to the payout. So do you typically just lock those in the same slip, or do you try to switch them up and add them in different slips?
It just kind of depends on where the value's at. Like if I can get it in, like if there's minimal value, I don't mind playing it. Although like technically in like the wide scope of things, it's negatively correlated. But if the value's there and the books are on X for this player and then X for this player, like I don't mind locking that in personally. But as far as like getting into different slips, it's a kind of a up to you approach at that point. But to me, it just depends on value. Like if I only have enough for one slip and I have to take that negative correlation, I'm willing to.
Gotcha. Okay.
I just don't like payout shifts is where I get.
Right. Exactly. In terms of another prop that we could take, one that I actually already have locked in one of my other slips this morning, Dean Kremer over 4 strikeouts. A little bit closer there to that line that we can take in terms of criteria for PrizePicks. But definitely a prop that I wouldn't mind locking in for our 4th leg here.
Let's do it. And as I mentioned to chat before, and like we're getting some props already in this slip that are 55+% chance to hit. So we can dip down to 53.5 and still, as long as our average fair percentage of the slips 54.3+%, we're good to go. So I'm in for that as well.
I also just like how, this is a prop that we have several data points on almost every book and still getting that sort of value. So definitely makes me feel a little bit more confident taking that.
All right. Yeah, I'm in. And I mean, if we want to stick to MLB, or we could do some esports. Where do you stand on these esports?
Well, for esports, I typically like to, I don't mind incorporating into my slips, but I need to see enough other books have lines that are different to where it really feels like you are getting value. Because if I just see one other app that has, a different line that may be off by, one or two kills or headshots, it doesn't feel like it's, a huge bump. But when I do see several apps that have a specific line, and let's say PrizePicks or Underdog is off, then I typically try to work those into my slips.
All right. So with that being said, what about, I have two propositions, and you can tell me which one you'd like. So there is Vert for CS2 over 11.5 headshots. Underdog set to 12, Hot Streak set to 12.5, and juicing -169 to the over of 12.5. So 0.5 off from Underdog, one full headshot off from Hot Streak, or we'll go with Tyler Fitzgerald. I see some people in the community already on Tyler Fitzgerald that aren't solely just based off the optimizer, and based on it, it's off by close to 1 fantasy score. We do only have 2 data points. I know that's kind of your minimum there. I'm willing to go either one of those unless you see something that you like better.
I think we roll with both of those. I just got a notification that Brittany Griner got bumped in our slip, so we're back down to 3 legs.
All right, so guys, typically we're moving a little quicker. We're trying to explain some props today and kind of give some insight on how Trident thinks, kind of how I do things, which I tell you guys often. But they're mad at me. I'm ignoring chat. Yeah, sorry, I didn't see it. I'm dialed in right now. Dialed in. Sorry, Krellix. Yeah, we'll go with Vert over 11.5 headshots, and then Tyler Fitzgerald. Tyler Fitzgerald over. He bumped.
Oh, he did?
Shit. I think so. I think it was 7, and now it is 7.5, I believe. Let's see. Yeah, I believe so. All right, so let's go with.
Another question for you real quick. I see that we do have Tyler Anderson under fantasy score here. With us already having Jose Barrios, is that something that you typically stay away from as well? Just having two pitchers in the same game, if they're like, an under fantasy score? Just the negative correlation there.
Certainly stay away from that.
Okay.
So, I mean, we have Caleb McBride, Ariel Atkins. We have David Peterson under 31.5 fantasy score. Or if we wanted to get another hitter, Kyle Schwarber was basically the same situation as Tyler Fitzgerald. We could go that way. Something of that nature.
Okay. I mean, I see we have Bregman and Reagans both under fantasy score up here.
Yeah. My only rebuttal on Bregman right now is because I know I'm going to be playing that ParlayPlay promo, so I don't really want to hedge it, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
I'd rather go with Reagans if we're going to go that route.
Okay.
So let's go Reagans.
Cool.
And we want to build this 6 flex, or we want to make it 5?
Cool. That's something that I've seen you really put out a lot of those the 5 legs, and I always try to get 6-mans in if there's enough value. Yeah. Just because I know those are more profitable over long-term betting. So if you want to run 5, that's totally fine with me. Kind of just up to you.
I like both. It doesn't bother me any. If we're needing one extra leg, let's go Schwarber. Schwarber over fantasy.
Okay.
And then I will put this into chat as well. As soon as it goes off. Bingo. Share it into chat for you guys. Let's go, baby. Let's go. First slip off. It would have been nice to get Brittany Griner at 18.5. But like I mentioned, we are moving a little slower today than me just yapping away, firing off slips for you guys. I think it is interesting to hear somebody else's point of view on the optimizer and how they use it. And obviously, Trident, a very Krellick says he's reversing. Thanks, he said. Uh, if that goes 0 of 6, then Trident can never come back on here. I'm just saying it now.
Yeah,
I'm kidding.
just a bad luck charm, I guess.
I'm kidding. Obviously, Trident, well viewed in the space and a profitable sports bettor by using plus EV betting. So interesting to hear his thoughts and how both of us are different in thinking, but also profitable by using the same method, essentially. So I like that. Built out a slip, kind of a collab slip there. We can kind of move on. Prize Picks, we ate up a lot of that value at the moment. We'll go ahead and move on to Underdog and some of these other apps, and then maybe head back to Prize Picks if some more value does, come about. So my view and my argument for these lines, comparing to just Hot Streak. I know you said that you're not really a big fan of just a 1 data point. To me, it's almost like 2 data points with Hot Streak. I don't love it as much if it's just Prize Picks 2 UD unless there's an insane middle opportunity. I more so don't mind it whenever it's Hot Streak, because Hot Streak, they're setting their projections just like these other DFS apps, but then also they're adjusting to the juice, or to the money coming in and adjusting their odds, so you can kind of see where the odds are heading as well as what they're projecting. So I kind of view it almost as 2 data points. So like on Underdog right now, top play Sasha 21 on Underdog, maps 1 and 2 kills, set to 22.5, so 1.5 kills off, and minus 175 to the over on Hot Streak. I wouldn't mind playing that in a slip personally, but I'm maybe a little bit more aggressive than some other people with these esports plays.
No, that's a great point to make. I actually did not know that that's how Hot Streak typically move their lines, which is good to know, because I would definitely view that, like you said, as almost 2 data points. The one spot that I typically try to lean away from, I guess, is that over time I've noticed that Fliff typically, for whatever reason, seems to have just like everybody else's same line, and then they just will bump it by a little bit. So it's like whenever I see that pull up as minus 140 or minus 145, I try to take that into consideration when I see every other book have it more towards like minus 135 or minus 130. But yeah, that's a good point you make with Hot Streak. I definitely that's interesting.
And I really specifically use that more so for the esports, just to clarify that.
Gotcha.
And then, so, I mean, I'm willing to start off with that if we're building out an Underdog slip. I got Sasha over 21 kills in this slip. We didn't end up going David Peterson, right?
No, I don't think we took Peterson in our last slip.
Okay, so
we have Reagans and then Barrios.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, let's go David Peterson. Not to jump the gun and steal a second play without you getting any input. But
no, you're good.
Certainly off 56.2% chance to hit. Multiple other data points would have this. Obviously, there's not a actual fantasy score line on these books, but taking into consideration those even lines on the books for the player props that make up pitcher fantasy score, set to 29.5-ish, let's say, for David Peterson. So definitely off from the 32.5. So some value on the under of 32.5 there. You got any thoughts on that UFC play?
UFC is real tricky for me in terms of, where I like to take props at for value. 4.5 line from 2 different data points there, and then a whole number of 4. It's definitely something that, I wouldn't mind slipping in, but if from a UFC, like from the standpoint of like actually watching UFC, like for whatever reason, I feel like I have terrible luck, especially with takedown props. No matter which way it is, whether it's an under or an over. I don't know what your experience has been like taking those, but I wouldn't mind putting in a slip since there's value on it. That's your call though on that.
See, for me, I don't necessarily like it. Like we're getting it at 4. They're set to 4.5, but like there's obvious juice on the under of 4.5, and it just leaves our push potential so heavy at 4.
Right.
So I'm okay with leaving it off, although it shows value of 56.79%. It's a lot of push potential there with that prop, so I'm cool to leave it off. And then we get down to these birdies or betters props with only one data point to better. I personally would rather skip them with only one data point being better.
Yeah, and I think that this is like something where I would probably be taking those if those lines were on, Pinnacle or FanDuel or an actual sports book. I feel like when it's only one data point and it's also another DFS app, I find it really hard to really trust the value there. But I did want to ask you, since we kind of just went right over it, I know that you brought up about Bregman, how you planned on taking his over for the ParlayPlay promo, and you didn't want to take his under fantasy score there as a hedge. Do you view that the same with pitcher fantasy scores? Because I know we talked about having Anderson and Jose Barrios in the same slip, not being a good idea with the negative correlation. But what are your thoughts on having Tyler Anderson in a separate slip? Is that too much of a risk? Because there's always the possibility they both go under.
Right, I like that. I am fine with taking it in a separate slip. For the reason being that there is a possibility for that to happen. But like Bregman can't hit a home run and go under fantasy score. Hey,
exactly.
Isaiah, appreciate the subscription there. Thank you. Yeah, so I'm totally cool with that. If there's a chance for both things to happen, I'm cool with that. I just don't necessarily love limiting myself to only either Bregman hits a home run. I don't know. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
I said it fine the first time. Now I'm trying to like talk too much in circles about it. But yeah, let's do that.
No, I got you.
Jose Barrios. We already played. That's right. That's same game.
And we're actually I think the fantasy score is slightly different between Underdog and PrizePicks in terms of scoring. So I guess it's not a huge deal, but we did technically get a better line on PrizePicks at 29 fantasy score compared to 28.5 on Underdog.
Yeah, the pitching is a little different. And I actually believe the hitting there is a little bit difference as well. But Judge seems to be some good value on Underdog based on where they have it. So I'm down to add Judge to this list at 11.5 fantasy score on the over. And then we need 2 more plays because I definitely only play 6 picks on Underdog, one of the best slip types in the game.
Yeah, I kind of there's a ton of esports props right there with just one data point on a hot streak. So I'm open to throwing some of those in if you do. But Lourdes Gurriel caught my attention a little bit lower than them for his over 2 hits, runs, and RBIs with 5 different data points. They're all favoring the under 2.5. But so we do have push potential there. But what are your thoughts on that prop?
Are you hold on? Are you on Underdog still? Or did you actually switch to PrizePicks?
I'm on Underdog. Did they rip the prop off?
Maybe.
They may.
Maybe.
I can refresh. They probably took it off. Yeah, they did. Okay. All right. Yeah. He was minus 140 something at over 2 hits, runs, and RBIs, but it looks like they pulled him off the board.
All good. If we're gonna head for some more MLB, I like Xander Bogaerts at 5.5. I feel like that 5.5 number is actually like a really solid number to get.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and get Bogaerts at 5.5. We need one more. I might have skipped some value. I know there's some esports just direct correlation. Bro can't spell. Damn. They see me type in the wrong thing for a second. It's all good. It's all good. Not the first time, not the last time they're gonna make fun of me. So we could dip in with Hallen, I believe it's pronounced, over 22.5 kills, maps 1 and 2, hot streaks at 24.5, 2 off, minus 143 to the over of 24.5 on hot streak. It's the same game we kind of took already with. Well, actually, it wasn't.
Yeah,
we didn't take it.
No, it is on Underdog. We already have Sasha who's on the same team, so
that's
you
right.
can't take that prop.
Correct. So yeah, we
but
can't do
I
that.
believe we could go down. We could go down to take DZT. I think is that the same game too. I think it's a different game.
Smoke. DZT under 10 map 1 kills. Yeah, we should be able to take that. I don't believe. Yeah, we could take that.
Which game is that for? Because I searched it and I've got 2 separate ones. One at 6 p.m.
6 p.m. game.
One at 7. 6 p.m. Okay,
6 p.m. under 10.
gotcha. Cool.
And then, yeah, so then 6 p.m. under 10. Bang. So that's a UD slip. Okay, well, Sasha and DZT just got ripped. I think we got front ran by the chat. So we need 2 more. We need 2
Oh
more.
no, I got it in. Oh, that sucks.
You dog. All right, hey, it's all good. It's all good. For those of you that got front ran by the man on the stream here, we'll find 2 more plays. We'll get them in.
I'm never gonna be allowed back on here again.
No,
I'm
you're
ruining
good.
everything.
Okay, so then let's go with how about this one? Let's go with Blanco under fantasy score, and then we can also get Myth Putin over 3.5 headshots. If it allows to. Blanco under fantasy score, and then Myth Putin over 3.5 map 1 headshots. That's what I'm going to be running. Hopefully I can get that into chat. You guys will be able to tail. Are these good odds? But why is AI slip generator not? Because there's certain parameters for AI slip generator, right? Just like I said, there's different preferences for every plus EV better, or not every, but most plus EV betters could have a different preference from you. Like Trident, we've talked about it multiple times on this stream, where he's more comfortable basing it off X, X, and X. I'm more comfortable, or I am comfortable with basing it off just this, right? The AI generator has certain parameters too that needs to be hit in order for it to spit out a profitable slip based on the AI itself. But still, profitable slips can be built out just depending on what you trust yourself as a human, let's say. So yeah, that's why there might not be a slip on the AI slip generator, but you can still build out a profitable slip. Anything for better? We'll hit on better real quick. Don't really play it, so I'm not going to be building out an entire slip, but I will show you guys the better optimizer. As you guys can see here, it is pretty dry, not too much value, not enough value to build out an entire slip. But if you're going to be building out something, make it a 5-pick or a 6-pick insured, where you're getting these at minus 121 odds. But really nothing that's going to be great for a better slip at the moment. I know one time recently I pulled it up and I was like, if you really want to be degenerate and you want to put the top 5 in, go for it. I wouldn't recommend it. Somebody did that, Trident, and then they DM'd me later that night and was like, you told me put the top 5 in if I'm a degenerate, and I did, and it cashed. Thanks. And I was like, I didn't recommend that, but hey, congrats on the dub. So
Nice.
I mean, it is what it is. You're getting the best odds, right? It might not be necessarily plus EV, but you're getting the best possible odds on these plays when comparing to these other apps in sportsbooks.
Yep.
We'll head to Fliff real quick. Sorry, I haven't been reading chat too much. If you guys have questions or want to say something, I'll read chat for just a second. And if you guys have a question for Trident, feel free to shoot. I'm sure he's happy to answer.
I actually have a question for you that maybe other people in chat might have as well. But let's say somebody's using the Fliff optimizer, right? And they see a prop that's positive EV. What is your best approach in terms of how much they should be betting on a specific prop? Because you can see anything from a plus 1,000 prop to minus 150. And obviously you don't want to be putting the same amount on each of those. So what would be your recommended approach to those?
I mean, personally, I'm not putting over really a unit on anything on Fliff in general, whether it being a straight bet or not. But obviously, I mean, you just scale it. I mean, I don't have any set method as far as if it's plus 2,000 put X, or plus 200 put X, or whatever it might be. So I just kind of scale it just depending on how I'm feeling, to be honest, but never over a unit, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So like,
gotcha.
Now the one thing that I do, Trident, that I tell people only if they feel comfortable doing so, which could be questionable to a lot of bettors in our space, in my opinion, would be, did I say 10% of my bankroll? I meant to say 1% if I said 10%. I don't know. Chat's confusing me now. But yeah, no more than 1% of my bankroll or 1 unit, let's say. However, like this Fabian Marazin line, this -2.5 game spread in ATP, this might even be a live line. I'm not sure. Yeah, it might have been. There's no real good examples, but I can try and talk about one of the best I can. So, like, let's say Cutter Crawford yesterday, under 5.5 hits allowed. He was -130 on Fliff, but some of these other books were like -145 or so, and it was showing as like -0.3%, right? I try and use my intuition on where these lines are moving, or if I refresh and I see a line move from -145 to -160, but then the rest of them are still at -145, you can kind of get the indication that these books are moving more so towards favoring the over, much more than -130 that Fliff has it at. And I'll jump on a line early, although it's not showing as quote unquote plus EV at that very second. I'm kind of judging where I think this line is moving just based on where these odds are. And I find that to be helpful on Fliff specifically, because they just lag behind the market so much that you can kind of tell that they're sitting still and hard at -130 when these other books are trickling up. So I try to jump on them a little early, but it just depends on what it looks like, right?
Yeah,
I don't know if that's
gotcha.
something you do, or you wait for it to show fully plus EV before jumping on something like that, which I don't hate on at all. That's probably the real correct way to do it. But also, if you're trying to get the best possible edge, you need to have a little bit of intuition on where it's going. And to me,
that makes
that's
sense.
what I do. If you want to play it safe, you wait till it shows plus EV and then hit it. But if you want to try and jump ahead of the gun and get better value or the best possible value, then you could kind of do it how I do it. But yeah, there's nothing really on plus EV. Did you have a stance on that take?
Not really. I just kind of wanted to see what your thoughts were on that, because I feel like, that may be a very valid question for someone who's new to the optimizer or new to just, betting on Fliff and sees those kind of props and wants to know how they should be properly managing their bankroll in regards to, those kind of straight bets.
Yeah, I'm looking for it now. Matt gave a much better and clear answer on like a mathematical way to do it, to scale your bet based on Fliff. He did a thread on it, and I'm trying to quickly find it right now if I can. I might not be able to find it this very second without causing these people to be bored. But I'm trying really fast. Hang on. That way I could just kind of scroll through it, or maybe I can link it into the chat for people. But no. No, I can't find it. I can't find it off the top. But if you guys do somehow want that, DM me and I can find it and show you guys that. It's more of a mathematical answer, how you can, scale back what, quickly decide what you want to put on a prop on Fliff and such, based on the odds. Oops, camera disappeared for a second. There it is. All right. I'll try it in cam. Yeah, sorry, that's my fault. I was trying to find that for you guys, and I had to sacrifice Trident's handsome face for a second. All right.
I have another question for you. Just wanted to get your perspective on how you typically do things. So on the optimizer, right now I'm on PrizePicks. If I'm sorting it just how you guys do with, the top being the best percentage odds to hit and going down from there. Obviously, we get a lot of green props at the top, but if you were to sort it by sportsbook odds, if I'm sorting by Pinnacle specifically right now, I see they have Tyler Anderson under 4.5 strikeouts at -151. We have other sportsbooks that have it closer to -125, and then again we see Fliff having it at -160. What is your take in terms of maybe 2 to 3 sportsbooks having it meeting criteria for a 6-man, and maybe other sportsbooks lagging behind at like that -130, -135 range? Are those flips that you typically, or those props that you typically work into slips? if maybe you have better value in some of the other props within that, or do you just stick to solely if the full market is above the criteria for a 6-man on PrizePicks?
More so looking at odds percent to hit majority of the time, like just trying to make sure whatever 6 props I'm getting are above that 54.3+% personally. But like for this Tyler Anderson one, like to me, majority of the market, although Pinnacle is a sharp book, like majority of the market's at minus 125 ish, minus 130 ish. All right. So Fliff and Pinnacle to me are the outliers at this very point. Like, could they be ahead of the game? And we're going to see the rest of these books move towards that minus 150, minus 160 number, and then it'd be a good play. Tyler Anderson under 4.5. Like, yeah, we could see that, but as it stands right now, where I am looking, I personally would just stay away from this until I see more data points, like DraftKings or FanDuel move towards minus 150, minus 160. Oh yeah, we're gonna do ParlayPlay right after we talk about this. We'll hit ParlayPlay and hit the promos there. Bregman going for his 5th consecutive day hitting a home run. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I get why somebody would look at like even Tyler Anderson's hits allowed right there under 5.5. Pinnacle's got it minus 133. The rest of the markets, got it minus 135 plus. And throw that into a slip, right? You could still get a 53.22% chance to hit play into your slip. And you've got multiple data points that are much higher than minus 116 in Arena, minus 119 on regular PrizePicks. And go for that. Like, I'm cool with that. But whenever I have the market split, as you mentioned with that strikeout line, like, I'm just going to stay away from it personally.
Okay.
If they're all agreeing in near, like, I'd rather trust that than the 1 or 2 books that are, set higher compared to 6-7 books that are around that minus 125 range that we see there. So that's personally how I look at it. But I mean, there's not necessarily a rule book for it, right? It's all preference and what books you trust. Like if you really trust Pinnacle and that's a line that you weigh above all, then that's something that you take into consideration whenever you are finding plus EV plays, and that's your process, personally.
Gotcha. Okay.
But that's just kind of how I go about it. Now let me resort this, and let's before I forget, let's go ahead to ParlayPlay. Crushables actually says I've built slips solely off Pinnacle's odds before just to see how it would go, and it worked sometimes, which is kind of like all of plus EV betting, right? It works sometimes,
right?
Just hopefully, enough to be profitable.
I honestly, I kind of want to track that on an individual prop basis to see how many of those that may be different from the rest of the market are actually hitting. Because that's something that, like, when I'm building my slips, I do sometimes will see like there's been times when I see the rest of the market having a line at minus 130 or minus 135, and then Pinnacle have it at like minus 160, and I would love to see how those props are actually doing, like the result of those, which is something I haven't actually tracked. But
a lot of people that get a little bit deeper into the odds and liking to see kind of which book is sharper in which areas are looking at exactly that, rather than going off the market as a whole, or they just, like I said, just take into consideration that book a little bit more weighted than the rest of them. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely something that you can add to it to try and get an edge and just kind of study the market and those specific player props, those books, etc. But yeah, let's go ahead. We'll go ahead and get this ParlayPlay slip off with Alex Bregman. Definitely playing that. Yesterday, his boosted odds for the 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs was slightly plus EV. We took advantage of it and then hit this morning with that Mako line that I had talked about earlier in our little recap. But Bregman over 0.5 home runs. We're getting 10x. So to explain that a little bit, as you guys see it on the optimizer, we're getting it at plus 900 odds. The rest of the market has this set to right around plus 500 odds. So certainly getting the best possible odds on this play. It's a small chance to hit, right? A 15.65% chance to hit, although in his last 4 games, 100% chance to hit. just to have a little fun with it. He is on a tear, so we'll see if he continues it tonight. But we're going to be playing it, right? It's a really good play. You're getting almost a 6% edge on this play when comparing to the rest of the market. So basically, it's not their normal line and how they would set it for Alex Bregman. But how ParlayPlay is setting this line right now, they are giving it, quote unquote, they are viewing it as a much less likely percent chance to hit than what the rest of the market is giving it based on what the odds that they are setting it. So getting it at plus 900 is a good play and a long-winded answer. So I'm down to get that in with, let's see. We might not find something that's insanely plus EV, but I personally like to play the promos and try to, and I was actually kind of telling you this earlier before we actually started the stream. I like to find something that has a decent percent chance to hit and that I can find the best odds, where I'm getting the best number at on ParlayPlay if I can. Some people like to just add it in with another kind of plus odds play and go from there. But I personally like to try and find where I get the best odds. I have Jake Berger over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs paired for the parlay promo. I'll tell you what, Alex Monahan is making Jake Berger famous in the betting community. Everybody's just tuning into that guy's games these days.
You know what's so crazy is that I don't know if he was injured or not, but I actually went to a AAA game when he was down in AAA earlier this year, and I was trying to tell my fiance about it. Like, oh, you should see this guy. He's huge. He's a great player. I don't even know why he's down here, and I don't even remember he never hit a home run in the game, but just watching him live and then now this absolutely insane run that he's on is just, it's hilarious. Like, I mean, I'm stunned. I can't believe he's hitting so many home runs and just so recent, like just on an absolute tear right now.
I love it. I love just the fact that it's become such a big thing in the community now. It just cracks me up.
Yeah.
Let's see. He was a top 11 draft pick. Yeah, I mean, still just funny. It's just funny that he was kind of being made fun of within the community. Now he's just on this crazy tear. I'm looking at this. I think Alex Cobb is going to be a boosted payout line, so I don't know if I'm going to touch that. Maybe he's not. Okay, maybe not. Maybe we can go with Alex Cobb under 4.5 strikeouts. Let's see.
I like that a lot.
Now we're not getting the best actual odds because FanDuel is at minus 134, but the rest of the books are heavily favoring him under. We're getting minus 144. I'm willing to jump on it and give us a 58% chance to hit, along with the promo that is much less. So if Bregman does hit, I want to give us a chance to hit with this play. Getting
right.
$10 max on this play. You're getting a payout of $169. Nice if we do hit. So I'm pairing it with Bregman over 0.5 home runs, Alex Cobb under 4.5 strikeouts as my play for that minus 144 odds there.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Much better payout than if you were taking Cobb on FanDuel along with Bregman in the two-man, in a two-leg parlay. So
absolutely,
I like that since you're giving yourself a chance to actually hit instead of taking the next best prop, which would still be someone else going yard at plus 600. So like. Definitely the smart way to do things there.
Yeah. And no matter what, like you just mentioned, it's plus EV. Even if we were comparing it, FanDuel taking that at minus 134 and then taking Bregman at his home run line, we're getting the best payout and the best odds over here on ParlayPlay. And that's what we're looking for, right? Plus EV slip in total, which anything you're taking basically with, even if we were to take another home run line, right? It's going to be plus EV in general. But I like to personally try and take advantage of the promos and be sure that we hit rather than go for the big shaboom payout, in my opinion, especially with the promos.
Yep.
Oh, wait, I think we might have just got some UD promos hitting the board. Let's go, baby. Let's see. I hit the refresh button. Okay, nothing. Hang on 1 second. I swear they just tweeted out strikeout discounts. Unless they just don't like your boy.
Say, sometimes when you're winning too much, they don't give you any promos.
Oh, no. They should. It's not fair. Come on. They can't do that, right? Let's see. Maybe it's just desktop. Is anybody else seeing them?
I'm not seeing them. I'm on desktop right now. I'm not seeing
Clayton
them at
says they're
all.
there. Click on the MLB tab. Okay.
Oh, they're there. I see
Okay.
them now.
But usually they show up under home.
Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah, they're there. All right. So we got some discounts. Let's see. So Underdog says DJ Ayers from 4.5 to 3.5, so 1 full strikeout. Robbie Ray from 7 to 5.5, so 1.5, comparing to just that. Hey, let's go, DJN. Appreciate the raid of 22 viewers. What up, y'all? From DJN. Thank you very much. Myself, I know he's rated a few times, so welcome back if you guys are consistent viewers of his that have rated my channels. Thank you. Got a little guest on today, Trident, who's also big in the DFS gambling Twitter community. Trident _ DFS is his Twitter if you guys want to follow him. Joining me today on the stream. Yes, Alex Cobb under 4.5Ks is what we paired with the Bregman promo on ParlayPlay. So yeah, sorry, I was talking about the Underdog discounts that just hit the board. Robbie Ray, 1.5 discount from 7 to 5.5. That's using the Underdog line specifically. Kyle Gibson, 1 full strikeout, 4.5 to 3.5. Barrios, 4.5 to 3.5. So 1.5 discount for Robbie Ray. Off rip looks to be the best because we're getting it 1.5 strikeouts off. But where is the appreciate it, DJN? But where is the actual line for Robbie Ray? I'm assuming it's at 6.5. Maybe some juice to. Let's see. Robbie Ray. 6.5 juice to the over on most books. Okay, so he's actually at 7.5 on most books, with 7.5 being slightly favored on the under. We get it at 5.5. I think that's probably going to be our best value.
Absolutely. I mean, there's even some, I see Fliff that has it close to an even line at 7.5. Same with Hot Streak and Bovada, and Pinnacle too. So
yeah,
definitely the best discount there.
Yeah, so we're basically getting it 2 off the market, as opposed to 1.5 or one full strikeout off the market. So we're gonna go ahead and get Robbie Ray into a slip, and let's see what we can build out. I'm gonna check. So nothing on the AI slip generator at the moment, but let's go ahead. We should be able to still build out something, and obviously getting this big of a promo. Sorry if you guys can hear my dog. I don't know if you can. Could you hear my dog?
Yes, we can hear your dog.
that damn dog. Nah.
I wanted to jump in real quick because this line was actually, the line itself didn't get moved, but they did have a multiplier, and now it's back to just a standard line. But Cole Reagan's under 6.5 strikeouts is one that I already played earlier, and I like a lot. We have -158 on Pinnacle, -145 on Caesars, and even Fliff having it at -170. So a lot of value here, I would think. I know you said you kind of don't really like it whenever it's like, you in? Okay, cool.
Jetson. I had to yell at the dog real quick. You guys heard me yell at him because I tried to mute my mic and it didn't mute. But sometimes
my gosh,
he's still going. 1 second. Take over.
All right. All right, guys. I'm not sure if Dustin typically uses these promos to build out 6 legs, or if he would prefer to just take an easier route and go with the 3 legs on Underdog at least. So Reagan's is a great one in my opinion. Like I said, we have -158 at Pinnacle, -145 on Caesars. A couple other books and a couple of the DFS apps also have them highly favored under. So Dustin, do you typically run 3-mans on the promos, or do you try to stick with the 6-man?
I'm cool with either. I mostly run 6-mans just because it's such a good slip type.
Right.
On Underdog. But I'm cool with either. If we want to run with the 3-pick, I'm in.
Well, I'm kind of stuck because we do have obviously a lot of value on the discount, and I love the Reagan's prop as well. But after that, we really don't have a ton of options as far as if we were to build out a full 6-man. I don't know if we have the value to build 4 other props in there. But I guess if we could find a third leg that has quite a bit of value, that we could sneak that in. I know we still have the UFC option on the board, but I think we already went over that as not really being a great option.
Yeah, no, I'd rather skip that, especially with the push potential on it. Um, I mean, a lot of this we could get in and have value. If we're gonna be doing a 3-pick, it's gonna be harder to get that full value, like that full plus EV slip, dipping down a little bit. I don't know the math off the top of my head of what this percent odds hit to play. Robbie Ray is like odds percent to hit.
Right.
Assuming, let's say it's like 62 or higher, like we should be able to get in just about anything with
Yeah.
it. I'm assuming it might be a little bit higher than 62% if I had to guess, just based off where the sportsbook lines are.
Yeah.
So we did have to dip down a little bit just to get Reagan's, but if we wanted to dip down and get anything else that we haven't really played, I wouldn't mind getting Spencer Steer over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs, minus 140-ish average odds across the books, maybe like minus 138. I would be down to get that in and throw in a 3-pick if we did that, since we've played a lot.
I mean,
all of these up here.
Honestly, we could try to go for a 6-man. I'm seeing value on both Tyler Phillips and Renel Blanco under fantasy score. Those are slightly off, with I guess the percentage probably being, I don't know if your thoughts are those are too low. But then we also have Dearica Hamby one off for PRA on 4 separate data points there. So I don't know.
We did play Blanco earlier. I would be down with Phillips and Hamby as well in the slip.
Did we play Blanco?
I
didn't
had
know we played Blanco.
Me and Stream had to, because you had
right.
Kind of screwed us early. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, I'd be down with Phillips and Hamby if we were gonna go that route. Or I'm cool with a 3-pick. Well, maybe let chat decide. 6 dudes or 3 dudes. Actually, it wouldn't be 6 dudes.
It'd be 5 in.
Well, yeah, we won't say anything. You guys get what I'm saying there? All right.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly, I don't know. You know, if it's a promo, I feel like honestly, you might as well play a 6-man. But at the same time, I know a lot of people may prefer just the 3 picks just because they are, easier to hit, obviously.
Right.
So
let's.
You got 3, 3.
We're kind of torn. 6, 3. All right, let's do. Shit, a lot of people want 3. Screw it. We're gonna go 6. Phillips and then Hamby. Ask chat. Chat says 3. Go against chat.
All right, so we need 2 more.
Am I not spelling that right? What the hell?
You're on the MLB tab.
No shit. That's right. That'd be correct, huh?
I did the same thing. You just can't see my screen.
Yeah. See, so I'm not as big of an idiot. I might have. I think I typically under 32.5 PRA too that I got on Underdog before they.
That would be a nice middle there.
Certainly would be. And then from there we have.
Are you wanting to throw Steer in there for the over hits, runs, and RBIs?
I already have it in. We go.
Okay. So
Chapman or Harper is where I'm at. Chapman over 7 fantasy score, or Harper over 7 fantasy score.
Or is this up to me to decide?
Willie Calhoun, basically almost same odds percent to hit, under 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. Got a couple books minus 140 plus there.
Ooh.
If you like weighing more books in odds, but probably get one off quick before anything gets bumped.
Okay. You said Harper and then
Chapman, Matt Chapman, or who did I just say?
Willie Calhoun.
Willie Calhoun under, yeah.
Okay.
They're all right around the same.
I'm leaning Harper on that, but
all right, let's go. Let's do it.
Hopefully that's not the one prop that screws us over.
Oh wait, hold on. Wait. That's giving us negative correlation.
Oh no.
So hang on. So let's go Chapman then. Chapman.
Oh, because we have yeah. That makes sense.
I didn't realize that. Come
All right,
on.
Chapman over 7 fantasy score. Let me
Chapman
know when
over.
you're ready to submit
All
the
right.
slip, so
I'm
I don't get
I'm hitting submit, and I'm gonna get in chat too. So go ahead. You can hit it
okay.
whenever. I'm gonna go ahead. It should,
All
if
right,
anything,
cool.
it shouldn't necessarily bump it because it is a $10 max probably. That's
Right.
what I'm
Yeah.
assuming. I know your unit size is higher than mine. Um, yeah, I was just scared that Reagan's line was gonna end up bumping or causing a payout shift. I
Right.
I put it in there in the chat. If something does get bumped, I mean, I would just say play Willie Calhoun under 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs, if that's where you're gonna go, or if you guys are needing one replacement. I'm assuming Reagan's is gonna get either bumped or changed into a dynamic payout play. Ooh, chat's saying that Trident is a Houston Astros fan.
No, I'm not. Who's saying that?
My man Isaiah said people saying Trident is a Houston Astros fan on Twitch.
Absolutely not. No. I wonder if I said anything to make them think that. I don't know. I'm not an Astros fan by any means.
I know that. I know that, but chat seems to be convinced otherwise. So I don't know. I don't know what you can do there to convince them of your actual fandom, but he gives off major Astros energy. Astros
You
fan
don't
here.
even what does that mean?
What's the issue? I don't know. I don't know. It seems like you like trash cans or something. This is what
Oh,
I'm
is that
hearing.
it?
This is
Huh.
what I'm hearing. A little shot there to the Astros fans. All right. Let's let's see one quick time. Somebody asked for a rebet. I'll just show you guys. There's not much value there. You can get some of the best odds on rebet of some of these plays, but not necessarily great plays plus EV. I think they're saying Trident cheats.
At what?
Dude, sometimes chat is just wild. They're just
Really?
unhinged sometimes. I think that's gonna be it though for the stream. We went for just over an hour, which is solid. So we got some
Nice.
slips in. Hopefully you guys learned a little bit, not only about Trident but about his process and how he views things. Maybe slightly different than me in some aspects. I think it was good for people to learn that there's not just one set way of plus EV betting. It's just kind of preference, and I tried to explain that here on stream. Sometimes it is just preference about overexposure, about which books you weigh more than the others, what you're comfortable comparing. If there's data point wise, how many minimum, and that's kind of why we set this thing here. Like you can set it to what you want, what you like for the minimum data points, what you're comfortable with, and go from there. But yeah, I think that's going to be it, Trident. I really appreciate you coming on the stream. We'll definitely have to do it again. Damn, somebody just said, damn, I just joined. All good, Josh. Get Josh.
Oh, Josh.
Is that one of
Yeah,
your boys?
that's one of my Discord mods. He's always, doing his thing, but yeah, I guess
It,
he's joining late.
well,
So.
get Joshed. But yeah, that's gonna be it for the live stream. Make sure on the way out, guys, if you guys are not subscribed to the channel already, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button on the stream because it still helps it out as people watch it after. And then if you're on Twitch, smash the follow button. And then follow Trident, Trident_DFS on socials. And that's gonna be it. Trident, any last words?
Nothing. I appreciate you having me on. And really just can't talk highly enough of the people over at Daily Grind Fantasy and how much the optimizer has helped me. Whenever I first discovered positive EV betting, I would spend hours out of my day looking at every single sports book, comparing lines. And with access to the optimizer, it makes things 100 times easier. And I have so much more free time, I guess, now because everything's right there in one place. So huge shout out to you guys.
I'll tell you that. Well, last point. If I didn't have Daily Grind Fantasy or a tool like it, like I probably wouldn't even take my time to plus EV bet, although it is profitable. It's just that much harder and less convenient to do
Right.
that I probably would bet insane amount less, like more spend less of my time betting by far, just because I wouldn't have the mental capacity to manually line compare, especially with
Yeah.
how fast things get bumped these days in 2024. So Yeah, I couldn't imagine doing that now. So yeah, shout out to the optimizer. But that's gonna be it, guys. Love you guys, and we will see you in the next one.